Hey, what's up, teachers, students? This is Mr. T from Portable 3 coming at you. I'm actually right in Portable 3 right now, and I'm really excited to share today's video with you. We're going to be looking at the stock market today. This will serve as episode 005. Now, it's going to be a little bit different than episodes 001, 2, 3, and 4 because those have offered a teacher guide, a teacher video, and some complimentary handouts, etc., etc. And those are free. You can go and grab all those. Those are on my website. Today's video is going to be lumped into a package that teachers will be able to grab later on at a time coming soon. Give me a few weeks to get that out. But this is going to serve within that package as a stock market activity for you and your students to do. So go and check that out once it's released. You can find the link in the description below. By the way, if I've earned your like so far and you're interested in getting more content, if you could give me that thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe down below and then turn on that little notification bell so that you can be alerted when I shoot out more stuff to all of you. Okay? Every video I got to show a Starbucks card, and here's the one for today. This one is really kind of funky. It's shaped as an apple, which is really cool. And it looks like it is an A+, plus. I just want to give a shout out to all of you who try your hardest every day at school. Not so much to get that A+++++, but just to do your best at school. I think that that's a really important quality, a good trait, and something that you should continue striving for. Okay? All right, we are in the year 2023. Let's go way back to the 1600s. All right, because there was a company called the Dutch East India Trading Company, and they created certificates or pieces of paper that was an early form of a stock market, all right, or early form of stocks. Let me explain what happened. They wanted to pay hundreds of ships to go all over the world and find some really cool stuff. Bring that stuff back to Europe. And the Dutch East India Trading Company wanted to sell it within Europe, all right? So some ships would go across the ocean to South America and bring back some gold. Other companies would go to India and bring back spices. Another ship would go to China and bring back silk, right? Lots of cool stuff. Bring it back. They'd sell it within Europe. It was brand new. No one had ever seen these cool spices before or tasted them. No one had ever seen these cool materials like silk, right? Brand new stuff. People wanted tons and, they wanted to buy lots and lots and lots of it. But here's the problem. In order to pay all those ships, it cost a lot of money, right? And the Dutch East India Trading Company just didn't have that much cash. So what they did was they made up these little certificates, these little pieces of paper, and you could buy the certificates, which in turn, when that ship came back, they would sell all of this cool stuff, and all of the money that they got, they would then give back to the people who owned the stock certificates or the certificates. So let me give you an example. Let's pretend that there are 10 pieces of paper, 10 certificates. I buy one for $50, all right? The next person buys one for $50. The next person buys one for $50. Well, the Dutch East India Trading Company all of a sudden got $50 from 10 people. That's pretty cool, right? So they take the $500, they employ the ships go all over the world, they come right back with all this cool stuff. The Dutch India Trading Company sells that stuff, and they've made $1,000. All right. So think about it. If 10 people buy a certificate for $50, the Dutch East India Company just got $500, right? 10 certificates times $50 each, they got $500. They bring all those goodies back, they sell them, and they made $1,000. So now what they do is they give all of those people who bought the certificates a piece of the pot. Well, here's a question. If they have $1,000 worth of goodies and they divide that by 10 people, How much is that worth? That's worth $100. So I buy the certificate for 50. They go off, do their exploring. They come back, they sell all that good stuff. And now they're going to give $100 back to me. Whoa, there's my light. Haha. Let's come back. If you've been rolling with me, you know my lights turn off every once in a while. Okay, so think about the logic of that, right? The math, that's pretty cool. I buy a certificate for $50. They go off and explore. They come back. They give me $100. Well, that's pretty sweet, right? And then the next time they go, I want to buy 2 certificates, one for 50, another for 50. Well, they go back, they go out, they come back, right? And all of a sudden, I get $100 for this certificate, $100 for that certificate. Now I've made $200. So my original 50 bucks turned into 100, and then the second 100 turns into 200, and that, my friends, is how the stock market works. Okay? And it started, this was the 1600s. They had no idea that they were going to create an early form of a stock market, but that is how the stock market works. So let me give you an example from today. Let's go with Apple, the biggest company in the world, the biggest company on the stock exchange, okay? Huge company. So check it out. I'm going to buy a share, one share of Apple for $150. And I'm going to just leave it there, all right? I own that one share for 150 bucks. Well, Apple, after a year, they make the iPhone 15. They make a new iPad, and they get money from the iPhone 15. They get money from a new iPad. They make the Apple Car, which I think is going to come out in a few years, but let's just say it comes out in the next year. Apple gets more money from the Apple Car. They, you know what, just a few weeks ago, actually, they opened their very first store in India. All right? India's got 1 billion people. So now they start getting money from one store in India, and then they open up 10 stores, and now there's lots of money coming in from 10 stores. Apple, all of a sudden, gets money from the iPhone 15, money from India, they get money from the Apple Car, and their company goes up in value. Well, what happens to my $150? Now it's worth $160, and then it's worth $170, and it's worth $180, right? And I just leave it there, and my money slowly over time goes up and up and up. That is how the stock market works, right? Now, you do want to know, or you have to know, that your money can also go down, right? Your money can go up, your money can go down. It's a possibility, it happens. But the gist of the stock market is basically you buying a portion of a company, a share of a company, and you just sit and wait for that money to slowly go up. Okay? So that's a little bit about the history of the stock market. Let's talk for just a minute about some companies. What are some companies that you use that you may want to buy a share in? Think about that. All right? I'm thinking of things that I use every single day. And I want you to think with your partner, think with your class, brainstorm. What are some companies that you use every single day? All right? Let me give you a few. How about you buy one share of Coca-Cola? Because I'm going to guess that a lot of you like to drink Coke. Now, if you don't like Coke, maybe you buy a share of Pepsi, right? Think of some clothing companies. I know a lot of students in my class like to go to Aritzia, which is a Canadian company, right? You may want to buy a share of Aritzia. Or how about Canada Goose? Teachers, you got to do those recess duties in the winter, middle of the winter. It's freezing outside. You want a really good jacket? Maybe you want to buy a share of Canada Goose. Maybe you want to buy a share of Nike, right? You love the Air Jordans. You want to buy a share of Nike, right? You want to buy a share of Lululemon. Maybe you just love activewear and you want to buy a share of Lululemon. Maybe you have a share of Apple or Microsoft. Maybe you love electric vehicles. You want to buy a share of Tesla. Think about companies that you use every single day, and those are the good, solid companies that you want to be purchasing. All right. In the next video and in the few videos that come following this, we're going to be talking about some different industries that you may want to buy in just to have it like a spread. All right. But for right now, think about companies that you like to use. Those are the companies that I want you to consider buying. And just the gist of how the stock market began. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was clear. And I really look forward to sharing more stock market content and more financial literacy content with you in the coming days. All right. So thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was clear. I hope you're not leaving more confused than when you started. And again, if I've earned that like, give it to me. I really appreciate it. The more students and the more teachers that click that little thumbs up button, the more YouTube sends my video all over the world to teachers and students. Okay? Have a great day. It was nice chatting with you, and we'll see you in the next video.